Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Hawaii in Real Life. We're here with Brian Yang, who is the producer of Linsanity the Movie, which is a movie about Jeremy Lin, the basketball player. And in the last segment, we were talking about the movie itself and where it's going to be shown and some of the things that we can get out of it. But I was wondering, what was your involvement? Are you related to Jeremy? Are you his stalker?
Well, if you ask my producing partners and director Evan, stalker might be a word that he would use. Well, look, when we started this project, none of us knew Jeremy.
Oh.
We got acquainted with him. My producing partner Chris Chen and I, separately actually, we were friends from before, but we both started following his story, and stalking. Some might want to say like tracking online. I actually wound up calling the Harvard athletic office one day when he was a freshman at Harvard, and asked.
Tracking that far back?
Yeah,
wow.
He was a state player of the year in California, his senior year of high school, and to a lot of us that's a big deal because you're not the state player of the year in a state like California if you're not good. He led his team to an enormous upset of the Southern California powerhouse. He got named State Player of the Year by several major publications, and he didn't get offered a single scholarship, right, by a major Division I program. Now, if you win State Player of the Year out of typically any state, much less California, you're going to get college looks, right? And he wanted to go down the street to Stanford, which was his hometown team. He would have loved to stay in the Pac-10 school, which is now the Pac-12. But any one of these big programs, he thought he could play, and he would play with those guys during the summer leagues and all that. And he could totally hang. And yet again, none of the schools gave him a look. And he winds up going to Harvard, and everyone's like, "What's going on here? Like, why would a State Player of the Year in basketball go to an Ivy League school?" And so I think a lot of people didn't really believe in him. They thought, well, if he's going to Ivy Leagues, he can't be that good. So, start following his story anyways, just keeping a curious eye on him from afar. And little by little, he's putting up numbers in the Ivy League. As a freshman, he's playing significant amount of minutes. I got acquainted with him through this interview that I did with him, similar to this. It was a blog, so we did it on the phone while he was a freshman. And then Harvard would come play Columbia, every year. I was living in New York at the time. And then by the time he reached his senior year, he had made some national news because he led Harvard to some big upsets against big basketball programs. And so Chris and I, we connected and just thought, would it be interesting to put a camera on him? Because Chris, my producing partner, he has been involved with other basketball documentaries in the past. So we put our heads together and we basically said, let's do this as a web series. Let's make this movie. Let's do the journey of Jeremy Lin from Harvard to potentially the NBA. We don't know where it ends yet, but people were saying that he could make the NBA. He had a shot at doing it. And we thought if he makes it, that's a really interesting story.
Yeah.
How many Asian Americans can make the NBA ever? There was one in 1947 named Wat Misaka, who played for the New York Knicks for 3 games.
And that was it.
And this was before it was technically the NBA, but it was the version of the NBA back in the day. There's been many imports from Asia, Yao Ming, Yuta Tobuse, guys like that who got looks from the NBA teams. But no true born and bred Asian American who's very normal in stature, mind you, 6'3", 4, tall for an average human, but looks like your brother.
Yeah. Looks
like someone you go to school with. Looks like he could have gone to maybe Iolani, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Iolani. Has a shot to make the NBA. So we wound up pursuing the project. It didn't actually start right away in terms of getting the green light to do the documentary, but we stayed with it. We wooed him and the family, I guess, and after a series of events and over the course of time, they wound up giving us the green light. And his first year, we spent some time following him with the Golden State Warriors. and it was a very uneventful year. I mean, nothing really happened, to be honest. It was like, okay, he made the NBA, that's great, but he didn't really do anything, so it was very bittersweet. So our project, which we were thinking of putting together as a web series, actually, it wasn't going to be a full-length feature documentary. We thought, look, it's got a few thousand fans, ardent Jeremy Lin fans who want to watch it. He had almost like a cult-like following. Throw it online, make a little web series, and call it a day. And so we're like, okay, we're trying to find an ending to this whole thing, and it's like, well, I guess it just happens with him, or it ends with him making the Warriors, signing a contract or walking on the Warriors gym floor, and that's a great story in and of itself, because you don't see that every day. So then, the NBA had a strike that year, the next season. They were threatening to lose the whole season. And so we actually, I look back and I think the strike actually helped us, because what wound up happening is he had a prolonged summer. And because we didn't have a very interesting ending, we thought, well, why don't we keep shooting? They said, okay. So we wound up following him. We went to Taiwan, and we went to all over the U.S., everywhere he was going, we were there. And then the season starts. He goes back to Golden State. And the first day of training camp, he gets cut. And so we're like, okay, our story is really dead in the water. So, so we didn't know where it was going to go, and we thought we got to probably start wrapping this up. He goes to Houston, he gets cut again, then he gets picked up by the Knicks, and for 20 games nothing's happening, and we're like, okay, this is. We actually, I think we filmed all the way up to him going to New York, and then for the first 20 games when he wasn't really doing anything, there was no communication. We're just kind of like, okay, we're about to end this, And then February 4th, 2012, and that was the day where the world changed. I'm not even, I'm not exaggerating. I remember people in Hawaii were going nuts, going to J.J. Dolan's and watching the game at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
People who weren't even basketball fans who were suddenly showing up and cheering for this kid out of Harvard. He's going through this incredible blitz of 3 weeks of just like anything he touched was like gold, right? And he flipped the world on its head, and we had a front row seat the whole way through in terms of like getting behind the scenes access to get an interview with him. What's going on in your head right now? We're sitting there like beside ourselves, because this is arguably the biggest story of the time, the biggest sports story of the year or decade, and we're there, and we're like, what just happened? Our little story went from outhouse to penthouse, and what was amazing was throughout the whole thing, Jeremy stayed the same person as he is today. Very humble, very true, very actually really, overwhelmed by this. He became a media sensation. It's not something he asked for, but then it became our responsibility as filmmakers to tell the story the right way. And so our product is, it's been a long road. It takes a while to put a movie together. We finally got it, finished, and it's coming out, early October around the country. Opening also in Taiwan and the Philippines in the same month. So for anyone with relatives back home, and we're looking at other places too. It's going to continue to roll out in other countries, other regions. So as far as here, again, October 11th, we're looking for our Ohana here to support. I think Jeremy actually loves Hawaii. He's been here a couple times in the last couple of years. Loves being here. I think the people here loved his story.
Do you think he would come for the opening?
Well, he'll be in training camp. He'll be in training camp.
I'm just asking.
Get that question on. He'll be in training camp. But I've been told I look like Jeremy Lin, so maybe I can dress up and
yes, you can.
Try to pull it off. I'll just wear shades and a hat.
Can you play like Jeremy Lin?
No. I wish. I wouldn't be sitting here next to you.
Okay. So be sure to check out the movie October 11th. Whether you're here in Hawaii or somewhere else in the country, or October 11th.
Follow us at linsanitythemovie.com. That's the website. and at Linsanity the Movie, your Twitter handle.
What the hell is this?
And there he is! Holy moly! You ask and you shall receive! Look at that! Look at that! Hey, Jar!
And look at that, you look just like him.
Wow.
Okay. Well, there you go. Okay, so where was I? I was so distracted by Jeremy Lin. October 11th in theaters, go see it. And also, if you're watching this video on September 25th, tomorrow night is the Hawaii Five-0 red carpet premiere.
Sunset on the beach.
Yeah.
Be there.
Find out what happens to Charlie Fong. Okay.
Where did Jeremy go?